carded, or loose? Honestly, probably one of the most heavily debated topics here in the Diecast community. So today I thought we would do a little video and dive in. The age-old question here in collecting, whether it goes from sporting cards, action figures, and of course here in the diecast world is, do you keep it sealed or do you crack them open? So I reached out on a bunch of different social media platforms here just to kind of see what the current consensus is here in the community. And man, it still is super mixed. Everyone is all over the place, and it doesn't seem like there is any clear line in the sand on which way people are leaning. So I wanted to do a little video and just kind of go over some of the pros and cons of each way of collecting. As you can see, I have quite a good mix of each, whether it be loose or sealed. And I guess I will give you my input on it. Is I am kind of a get two if you can. So you have one to keep sealed and one to open up and check out. But I know that can be hard with some cars being a little more on the expensive side. For example, the Suki NFT S2000. I still don't have one carded. I want to get an extra one carded, but I know it's not like super easy just to go pick up a spare $200 to $300 car just so you can have the carded version as well. And what really sparked this one for me was one of the recent videos. We cracked open this 124 scale racing champion of Dom's RX-7. You can see the box for it here. And I told you I had some other ones on the way, which I do, you can see over there. But this was the racing champions, and it was easy to take out of the box, and it could easily be reversed. I could very easily put the car right back in the box, and you would never know. But when the other cars came in the mail, they were the Revell brand, not Racing Champions, and these are basically on a blister inside the packaging. So if I did open this, it would not be reversible. I cannot put that blister back on. So that was kind of like where this all got started for me and why I started kind of pulling the community and posting some videos on it, because I'm not sure if I want to open that or keep it sealed. But I think the whole argument really comes down to what do you like to do with your cars, and also what is your kind of setup and available space for the cars, because either way, whether you crack them open or keep them sealed, you are still gonna have to put them somewhere. For sealed, I have showcased this on the channel. This was a DIY little pegboard that I basically got everything from Home Depot, and this is a great way to display your sealed cars. You can see a nice comparison here as a Mascar display with a bunch of loose. I think this is 65 cars over here, and then over here there's probably 200 cars. So you can just see the amount of wall space that takes up. Get kind of like a side profile view. This definitely does take up quite a bit of space, but you can see if you were to do 200 cars in the Mascar displays, it would probably be around the same total footprint. It wouldn't stick out from the wall as much, but also you would be able to see all of the cars, where the pegboard, you can't see. You can only see basically the very first car, where here with these loose displays, you can see all of the cars. And the other option for sealed is you can use some of these little rails and stuff that you can get from Lowe's or Home Depot, or even just thumbtack them up on the wall if you want to be able to see all of the cars, enjoy all of the artwork, which if you are a sealed collector, then that is probably one of the reasons why you like to see the artwork. You like to see the car on the card, which I do agree, it does add a lot of extra flair and touch to the car, just seeing some of the awesome artwork, and then even some of the branding, like you can see here with the Fast and Furious cars. Some additional expenses that you might not think of when collecting sealed is you might want to get some protectors for some of your more valuable cars, because that is one thing. If you are keeping it sealed, you are going to want the card to remain in good condition. You aren't going to want the corners getting banged up or the whole card getting bent or scratched. So that is just another thing to take into consideration when you are collecting sealed, is for some of these cars, you are going to want to get protectors, and those can definitely add up. And for loose, there are many ways you can display them. As I mentioned before, the Mascar Displays. Then on Amazon and a bunch of other sites, they have a bunch of other displays. You have officially licensed Hot Wheels displays, which are kind of cheap and overpriced, if you ask me. There are like dioramas that you can display them in, but that is going to take up a whole bunch more space, which I know space is definitely limited. Then there are cheaper options for storing loose. We have these jammers that you can pick up at like Hobby Lobby, which these hold, I think, 48 cars. I have a whole bunch of them. This whole table over here underneath is lined with these jammers, just packed full of cars. So that's another nice, simple, cheap way to store your loose cars. Keeping your cars nice and clean is another thing to factor. One thing I do like about these Mascars, they do have the removable dust shield. So I know I get a lot of questions when I'm doing videos on these. They're like, how do you keep them so clean? Well, the answer is, has the dust shield. It only comes off if I am rearranging cars or filming a video. I didn't take them off for this video because I did want to kind of showcase the dust shield on there. If you do these diorama displays, obviously they are not dust free in there, so dust is going to be an issue. Any other displays usually have some kind of door on them, but even for carded or sealed cars, there is still going to be some cleaning involved. And I would say the cleaning would be much easier. You are basically just dusting off the top of the blisters. You don't have all of the loose cars with all the intricate little pieces. You know, you have like the spoiler, the wheels, all the windshield and stuff to try to clean up. So I would definitely say, as far as keeping things clean, the sealed would definitely have its advantages unless you have a nice dust-free storage, but just another thing to keep into consideration. And another note, just because your car is sealed and it is in the blister does not mean it is perfectly protected. A lot of times cars will rub up against the back of the card, or if they get kind of like shaken around in here, it will scratch off some of the paint or cause some kind of damage to the car. Also, the blisters sometimes are a little tight and could rub on like the wing or the hood or the roof, and you get some like marks on the paint when it's in here, which you won't really recognize that unless you do take the car out. But just another thing to be wary of here is, just because it's in the card does not mean it is perfectly safe and not going to be damaged. In the end, it really does come down to personal preference. Do you have the space to set up some mats, some dioramas? Do you like to do photography, videography, create some content with your cars? Or do you just like to look at the cars, enjoy them up on your wall, look at all of the arts, and just complete your collections? Do you like to race your cars? Are you big on reselling and trading? That could also affect your choice. If you are big on trading and reselling, having the cars sealed is much easier. If you want to race your cars, I would say it would be much easier in loose form to race them, obviously. But yeah, so it really just comes down to what you're going to do with the cars, and once again, your personal preference. Affordability is also another factor. If there is a special car, take for example this NFT Fast and Furious Skyline. If this is one you really want to add to your collection, the sealed version is probably going to be around 20% higher in value compared to its loose form. Right now on the secondary market, a sealed inbox version of Brian Skyline is going for around the $230 price point, where if you don't mind collecting it loose, you can pick up a nice clean loose example for around 180 bucks. So like I said, around the 20% discount here, which is nice if there just are certain cars you are trying to add to the collection, and if you don't mind if they are sealed or loose. But then again, if you ever do want to resell, then you will miss out on that value on the back end. And for a closing note here, this video was not meant to try to persuade you one way or the other, but just a nice list of pros and cons of each one, and just to kind of have a open forum and discuss it. here with you guys. I would love to know all of your feedback in the comments down below. What style collector are you? Do you like to keep all of your cars sealed, keep them all crisp, enjoy all the card arts? Do you like to crack them open, put them in some displays, do some dioramas, maybe even do some racing? Or are you like me and you're crazy and you get 2 of each so that you can do it all? Definitely let me know down below, but hopefully you guys enjoyed this upload. Be sure to like, comment, and subscribe, and we'll catch you on the next video. Peace.